I wish I was King Midas.
He's at it again.
Back again. What's good, y'all? If you're watching this, then I welcome you to a series I like to call Mixed with Midas. I'm your host, Midas Black. I'm an audio mixing and mastering engineer, a producer, and an artist. And by doing this series, I just hope that we all learn from each other so we can all make the best music that we possibly can with the tools that we have already at our disposal. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I'm back here with the song that I worked on that I showed y'all last time called APB by Master Q. And today we're going to be diving into how I mixed her vocals in comparison to or in relation with the beat. If you haven't heard the song already, go back to my last video and peep it, or click the link in the description below so you can check out the song in its entirety, because we're just going to dive into the vocals. And here we go. And I'll be going more in depth through like all the plugins and stuff and what's doing what. And I might dive into the effects. It really just depends on time and whatever. All right, so let you guys hear it.
Gatekeeping all of this music, cause my muses, some are right and left behind. And I don't wanna confuse him, cause I know he's still clueless that I still keep him in mind. When I write these words, all I can think about is you. Try to move on in my head, but I'm losing it, I'm losing me too. We start causing more problems than solutions. It's true, it's best to leave the situation dead. But you talk just like him, even look just like he do, even walk just like him, even smell like him too. But he would never ever break my heart just like you do. He would never tell me lies, he would always keep it true. He would.
All right, yeah, just a little snippet just so that way y'all can get a sense and get a hear of how her vocal sounds. So, like I said before, she's a phenomenal singer, so there was not a whole lot that I had to do. I just really wanted to be able to fit better into the mix of the tracks and like the guitar and stuff. So I'm starting off with it's a regular auto tune. I have the natural vibrato automated at certain parts. I'm big on automation. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm big on automation. Okay, so down here towards the end of the song, I have it automated a little bit. I guess to see what's happening. Um, yeah, I guess what was I doing here? Let me actually change the grid. I guess just to get a little more vibrato on some of these parts. I like to, like I said, automate things just whenever it might be a little more needed, so that way it just keeps everything musical, a little more concise and flowing. Um, great way of just keeping things consistent, because sometimes you have parts that need to be tamed more than other parts and vice versa. Some parts that might not need as much. So something else I'm not afraid of doing is like automating the retune speed or the flex tune, just any of these parameters for real. I'll do whatever I feel like needs it. So I'll actually come down here to this part where I have it automated.
But you talk just like him, even look just like he do, even walk just like him, even smell like him too. But he would never ever.
I'll make sure these background vocals are muted.
Love is missing, and the one that's here with me treats my heart like it ain't lit.
So yeah, so really, I guess at those parts, I'm already hearing like the autotune was probably grabbing it a little more, and it was probably doing a little more like robotic dancing than what I wanted to do. So I just wanted to like give it some vibrato. The next one, down her vocal chain is I'm messing with the virtual mix rack by Slate. She actually recorded this. I know we recorded it. She actually recorded this not using a Slate mic, not using the emulation mic. I just felt like it needed it regardless, because as you can see here, I have the FG12, which is I'm pretty sure emulation of the C12. I have that here, and then I have a tube their Hollywood collection going, but I only have the mix down to like 20, and I'm only saturating it a little bit. It's really just it's just to add as like a preamp tone. You don't really hear it too much. It's more like a feeling and embodiment. And then I have this EQ. This is a this is a heavy duty EQ. I'm not gonna hold you. Um, this series by Slate on their virtual mix rack. This EQ, you make even the slight minute changes. Like you see how I have this at like whatever this was, like I guess like 67. I want to double check. Okay, no, it was at 72. So whatever. But like you see how it's at negative 0.72? Like that's still it's actually like it's just strong. You don't have to make very, very like aggressive changes with this plugin at all. Like at all. Um Phenomenal. I'll play it with and without.
This music, cause my muses, some are right and left behind. And I don't wanna confuse him, cause I know he's still clueless, that I still keep him in mind.
It barely like touched her vocal for real, just pushed it out, just kind of gave it a little more a little less body and just a little more clarity. Like the body, I guess like it didn't really touch the body of the vocal. It was more so just a clarity thing, and I liked it. Going down, I'm not a stranger to doing this either. Just putting multiple auto tunes like after each other in sequence with one another. What I'll normally do on the second tune though is I'll make sure that the retune speed is a lot slower. Humanizes at 100% most times because I don't really want the ears to hear this second auto tune working too hard. Nor like do I want it working hard because then it starts getting robotic. It's just to support what's already being done, kind of clean up anything that this first auto tune might have missed. So that's why I have that there. I have a D click here, because there's some pops and clicks here and there throughout the vocal performance that either done so by plugins or just done so with her voice naturally on the mic that we were using. So I have this here. Just kind of get rid of some of that. A trick that I learned from Mixed by Ali. I seen him doing this on one of the videos, one of his like live streams. He puts a deverb at the end of his main vocal. I'm not too sure if he does this all the time, obviously, but like he put a deverb at the end of his main vocal and put the wet down, like the mix knob down to like within 10% for sure. I don't know if he goes any higher than 10%. There might be occasions, but by doing that, it kind of gives more depth to the vocal. More of like a natural depth, like a natural room depth. You might be able to hear it once I bypass it. I'll play it for you.
This music, cause my muses, some are right and left behind. And I don't wanna confuse him, cause I know he's still clueless, that I still keep him in mind. When I write these words, all I can think about is you. Try to move on in my head, but I'm losing it, I'm losing me too. We start causing more problems since.
Yeah, I know you guys ended up hearing it. Yeah, like that's very, very, very slight, but like it does a lot in just creating this space for the vocal to sit in. I had to bypass all these other ones so y'all could hear it for real. In addition to that, I have this vocal track going into my lead bus where I'm doing a lot of the heavy lifting. So I'll show you guys what's going on here. I have the SSL channel by Plugin Alliance. Shouts out Plugin Alliance again. Obviously, you know, BX. They make it really, really good ones, bro. I'm telling you. I have a cut here at around like 40. I'm doing a little bit of a bell cut, about 2 dB at like in this 300 range. At 300 is normally where like the vocal is really like boxy. I'm doing another sharper cut at around like 653. Yeah, it's like 3 dB of a cut there. About 2 dB of a cut at 748. Probably just some areas, like I said, and it's a lot more of a sharper bell curve. Just probably just some areas where I just wanted to like duck it down. I do a lot of cutting. I do a lot of cutting when it comes down to mixing a vocal because I just feel like if you take away all the bad stuff, you're only left with the good stuff. So, and then that point on, you can focus on uh dressing up the good stuff, by with additional saturation and other things that you might want to utilize. But if you get rid of all the bad stuff, you should be good. And then I do normally boost though. I do normally boost though with this SSL channel strip, just at the top end part. I have a shelf EQ going at around 9K, and it's hitting closer to like 4 dB. The mix knob here or whatever that I have, the fader, I just have it up a dB. Something that I don't normally do now in my mixes is I'll normally keep this analog off so it's more of a because it's a digital, it's a mono signal, a mono vocal going in like going throughout the channel, going throughout the sequencing of plugins and stuff. It's a mono signal, so but since it's on a stereo bus, I kept it stereo here. And these two channels work well with her vocals. I'll actually cycle through going through random channels here, trying to figure out which one like hits better with the vocal and just sits better. Cause like I said, they're all different. Amazing. So I'll play you deactivate all of these and I'll play you with them without this one.
Gatekeeping all of this music, cause my muses, some are right and left behind. And I don't wanna confuse him, cause I know he's still clueless that I still keep him in mind.
I know the biggest thing that we started hearing is the S's, and that's why right after it, I have a de-esser coming up in here, trying to tame all of that. I'll play you with and without.
Gatekeeping all of this music, cause my muses, some are right and left behind.
Did your ears get stabbed? My ears got stabbed. That Joker, yeah, crazy. So that's there. Then I have that going into an EQ, and you can see I'm doing, like I said, more cutting, more cutting. Get rid of all the bad, get rid of all the bad. I'll play a different part here, here towards the hook. I'll play you with and without this one.
When I write these words, all I can think about is you. Try to move on in my head, but I'm losing it. I'm losing me too. We start causing more problems than solutions.
Just cleans it up a little bit. Next one I have is the LA2A. Faithful. Very, 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 very faithful. Obviously I have it on the compression. And I mean, I'm not really doing a whole lot. I'm pretty sure I'm probably kissing between 1 to 2 dB of gain reduction, but it really just depends on the song, so we'll see.
When I write these words, all I can think about is you. Try to move on in my head, but I'm losing it. I'm losing me too. We start causing more problems than solutions. It's true, it's best to leave the situation dead. But you talk just like him, even look just like he do, even walk just like him, even smell like him too.
It's kind of like a little sweet spot that I like to have is right in between -1 and -2, more so kissing just -1. Like I said, the vocal calls for it. I mean, we can get crazier, but that's just where I like to have it. Next, I have her going into a black box for some good old saturation. I see I have here just the saturation is at 22%. I like the alt 2 because it makes it a little warmer. My pentode is at 61%. Triode, I'm not really doing nothing with it because the triode I know is the odd harmonics and the pentode is the even harmonics. And with the odd harmonics, they normally make sounds. They normally make your signal a little brighter in a sense when it comes to the saturation that it's utilizing. And with the even harmonics, they normally make it a little warmer. You can find your blend between the two, but this was my blend of just having the pentode at like 61 and the triode just keeping it regularly where it's at. I have the mix for the whole thing at 60%. I have my air on at 10% just to kind of still bring out the vocal a good bit. And you always have to compensate when adding all the saturation because it will up your signal. So I have it down from where it normally starts at 50. I have it at like 38%, just to keep just to keep uh the leveling consistent. So I'll play you with and without.
When I write these words, all I can think about is you. Try to move on in my head, but I'm losing it. I'm losing me too. We start causing more problems than solutions. It's true, it's best to leave the situation dead.
Because her vocal is a deeper vocal. I wanted to still bring all of that out, and still make it feel natural and stuff. So that's another reason why my mix for it is down at like 60%. Didn't want it to be OD. And I mean, it just sounds good to the ears whenever you do hear a little bit of saturation, especially with a vocal. So Black Box is definitely a good one to have. Shout out Plugin Alliance again. Hey, sponsorship. I'm not sponsored, but hey, hit me up. All right, now. So next one I have is another de-esser because I know we've been still hearing all these S's like cutting through, and so this is a really good de-esser that I love to use. I don't know how to pronounce it though, so I'm not even going to try to butcher it. But you guys see the name, you pronounce it for yourself. I just use it a lot on vocals and even when I'm mastering. It's amazing. So with this one, what I like is I'm man, like I said, I'm big on dry wet knobs, dog. Like if a plugin has a dry wet knob, like it's already goated in my opinion because I like being able to blend in the natural signal and the process signal, it's a win-win every single time. Like I don't care what you say, fight me. So this one I have it at 67%, and I have the smooth at about 30%, sensitivity at 50, the amount, I mean, right around the same. And what I have here though is I have a bell cut at about 9K. I think that's really where like her vocal was peaking a lot with me at. And I'll play you this with and without.
When I write these words, all I can think about is you. Try to move on in my head, but I'm losing it. I'm losing me too. We start causing more problems than solutions. It's true, it's best to leave the situation dead.
It really just it keeps it tamed. It keeps it tamed. And honestly, me now listening back to it, I probably would like put the amount just like a little bit more. And I really love the smooth now because it really, like I said, just smooths everything out. I probably would up this a little bit too.
When I write these words, all I can think about is you. Try to move on in my head, but I'm losing it. I'm losing me too. We start causing more problems than solutions. It's true, it's best to leave the situation dead.
I love it. Next one is the Trusty Dusty C6, another Jason Joshua trick. He'll use this as obviously it is a multi-band compressor, but he'll use it just for specific frequencies that are bothering and cutting through a little too much in the vocal. And so he'll use this plugin and those specific frequencies, cut them down as far as like the range, and just wherever the threshold might be at is wherever he'll have it at. And how much of that frequency you want gone depends on the release here. So if the release is really, really slow or really like a lot, you're not getting a lot of that frequency coming through for real. But the faster it is, the more that frequency you'll still get through. It'll still attenuate it, but you'll still get more of that frequency. So this is like your, what did he say? Like the dry wet knob essentially for this. If you're using it in a scenario. So I'll play you with and without. I'll solo the two frequencies I felt like was bothering me.
Keep them in mind. When I write these words, all I can think about is you. Try to move on in my head, but I'm losing it. I'm losing me too. We start causing more problems than solutions. It's true, it's best to leave the situation dead.
But those were the only two frequencies I felt, so that's why I went ahead and I put another C6 right after that. And as you can see, I have the frequencies here for this one hitting at 511 and 2378, and this one is just at 293, which is definitely more of the boominess of her vocal. I just want to attenuate it, not get rid of it. So that's why I went with the C6 here.
Keep them in mind. When I write these words, all I can think about is you. Try to move on in my head, but I'm losing it. I'm losing me too. We start causing more problems than solutions. It's true, it's best to leave the situation dead. But you talk just like I'm.
And like how I said with this release, how this is basically your dry wet knob, I have the release down a little bit more than what it's naturally at, which is at like 160 milliseconds. Yeah, I have this one down a little bit more because, like I said, the boominess of her vocal, it's not really boom, it's just a deep. The deepness of her vocal is like, that's a part of her voice. That's what makes her a unique singer. Like, you don't want to take that away because that takes away the natural sound of her voice. Attenuating it is cool, taking it away is not cool. I have all of that on her lead vocal bus. I normally do this on all my mixes. I'll have that bus going into just a lead bus for any other additional processing I might want to do. So for this one, I have, like I said, that warmness of her vocal. That's honest. Hey, that's the money maker right there, dog. Like, so I have this preamp from UAD. I love this preamp. When you want a warm tone, this is the one that really does it. I have this knob here at 100, and I have it boosted. This low end part, I have it boosted 1.5 dB, and I have the overall like saturation level of the preamp just boosted a little bit as well. I have that being fed into a fresh air because as you could tell with all of the warm processing that we're doing, we still want some clarity to come through, and fresh air is definitely the one to do that. And then I have an R-Box here just to kind of bring her vocal forward some more. And I'll play you with and without all of those.
Keep them in mind. When I write these words, all I can think about is you. Try to move on in my head, but I'm losing it. I'm losing me too. We start causing more problems than solutions. It's true, it's best to leave the situation dead.
I don't like to do a whole lot, honestly. Like, I felt like at this point with the vocal and the beat and everything, it was pretty cool. Obviously, you know, that R-Vox is really doing a whole lot of work. You could tell like it really brought the vocal forward. Love it. But so I'll have that being fed to my all vocals, just like how in the last video I said I have my beat buzz being fed to my all music. I have my lead buzz being fed to my all vocals. Same here, my background vocals. I have the background vocals have its own bus and its own separate bus, which is being fed to my all vocals. It gives me control. I like to be in control when it comes down to figuring out what needs to be done. Trusty Dusty, BX Focusrite. I have this on the all vocal track. It's the only plugin here. I see that I'm doing a 0.3 like high shelf at what is like 15K. And I think that's the only only EQ move I'm doing. You really want to be careful when doing EQ moves on a channel strip that is on like the all vocals, because like, I mean, A, it affects all the vocals, but B, when you get drastic with it, you can really tell. And it might not be the best thing in the world to do. Just because you can hear it and it really starts to transform the overall sound and tone of whatever it is that you're processing through it. So just be mindful of that whenever you do have a channel strip on, say like the final bus for anything. I have the compression here. I'm only hitting the compression. I'm only hitting the EQ. So with the compressor here, I have it at a 1 to 5, slow attack, fast release, 20% with the mix. Like I said, that's normally my go-to with it, and I'm probably getting about 40 dB of compression, maybe. Like it might light up a little bit, it might not. It might light up on some of these louder parts. I'll play it for you.
When I write these words, all I can think about is you. Try to move on in my head, but I'm losing it. I'm losing me too. We start causing more problems than solutions. It's true, it's best to leave the situation dead. But you talk just like him, even look just like he do, even walk just like him, even smell like him too. But he would never ever break my heart just like you do. He would never tell me.
Yeah, so having this here in the mix where it's at, it just tames the vocal. Just like I said, just additional attenuation of the overall vocal. I felt like it just really had it sit where it need to sit at. So with her background vocal, I have, like I said, just a couple of these takes here.
Oh, I
There's one that really wet. It's really in the back, but like, it's not really in the back, but I just wanted a wet signal, especially with how little background vocal takes are happening. It's like, okay, just to give it some differences. Not much is different here as far as like between the two auto tunes, between the two um VMRs. I have a phaser here just to give the vocal some texture and an auto pan. Love the auto pan. Um, and I have a spring reverb going on. I have a spring reverb going on, and then a half delay, a hall, and just a reverb I like to call background reverb, which it's just a really wet reverb. Then I also have that going into this beat bus, where it's a lot of the same, if not exactly the same as the main, because it's the same vocal. But I'll normally have my background vocals being fed to this Shep's Omni channel, which is also amazing. I like to use it just on the background vocal bus because the saturation knob does a lot with helping out the background vocals just kind of cut through a little bit more sometimes. And I like to use the compressor here that it has. When you do utilize this, be mindful of the level of your signal going through it because it will get louder once you use this compressor. And my output now, I actually have it turned up a little bit, like 0.6. And I have a gate here because if you can see on the Omni channel, nothing's being played, but you're still getting signal. Didn't want that. You can even see it here too. Nothing's being played and you're getting signal. So I put a gate there because it's just the noise floor essentially from these plugins that's happening. Just didn't want that additional sound, especially when nothing's being played here in these moments. Didn't want that additional sound being played through. And that is being fed to my all vocals, which I already went through the plugin for that. So yeah, that's really all of it. So I guys can go check out the whole song on all streaming platforms. Like I said, the song is APB by Master Q. That kind of concludes it for this video. I thank you all again for tapping in with me. Let me know down in the comments some thoughts, opinions, comments, whatever. Just like, share, subscribe, do all the good things that good people do. And until next time,
He's at it again.